purpose of this video today is to show you how to register for your AutoDesk Certified User exam. Now, this certification comes at the end of our study of drafting in Drafting 1. When you obtain this certification by passing the test with 70% or better, you'll receive a certificate with your name on it that says that you've obtained a certification in AutoCAD. So it'll be a great thing to have, a great thing to put in your portfolio. So let's go through the steps of how to get registered. So the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to register for the practice tests. And so for the practice test, we use the Geometric Certification Testing. And so I've outlined how you're going to go to this link to the Geometric site, and you're going to click on Sign Up Now. And then as you fill in your information with your name and whatever they're asking for, you must use your Tulsa Tech email address. And remember, the format for the Tulsa Tech email address is your username that you use on the computer every day to log in. And then you put username at students.tulsatech.edu. And so let's jump out there and look at the process. So when you get to this screen, you're going to come down to the bottom and you're going to click Sign Up Here. And then with this box, you're going to create your account and register. Now for student number, if you want to put in your Tulsa Tech student ID number, that will be a number that you can have quick access to off of your student ID badge. And so for student number, just use your Tulsa Tech student ID number. Right here is where you must use your Tulsa Tech email address. If not, they won't know that you're affiliated with Tulsa Tech, and they will want to charge you, and the process will just be thrown off. So use your Tulsa Tech email address here. For your username and password, I might recommend using the username and password that you use for logging into the computer at Tulsa Tech. That way, it'll be easy to remember and you won't have to come up with a new one. And then they're going to ask you some, you can decide on one of these security questions for yourself. Okay? So once you confirm all of this and you accept the terms of the license agreement, then you're going to log in. Now, obviously, I'm going to have a different login when I get here. But when you log in, it's going to prompt you for an access code. And so when it prompts you for an access code, then what you need to do then is you need to contact me for that access code. And then I'll provide that for you. You'll put in the access code, and then it should bring you to a screen like this to where you're going to be able to access the AutoDesk Certified User exams. And then once you start clicking on these AutoCAD, when you want to access this, you click it. And then with AutoDesk, remember AutoDesk makes all sorts of drafting and engineering and some animation type softwares. And so these are available to you. And so you may see AutoCAD or you may see more of these. So that's fine. I know in our course, we also have Inventor that's available. And so you may go through the tutorials and the practice on the Inventor software. And then you may want to go for your Inventor certification as well. And that's fine if you want to do that. Just contact me and I can help you get set up with that too. So we're going for the AutoCAD certification. So we're going to click on the AutoCAD button. And then it's going to give you the opportunity to go through these practice tests. Now remember, nowhere in here is the actual test for your certification. These are all just practice tests. So when I hover over one of these modules, it's going to show training mode and then testing mode. But in testing mode, it's still just the practice test. We're going to use Certiport, another testing company, for your actual test. Now let's explain these two modes. When you go into the training mode, you're going to start a new test. It's going to give you this pop-up to open the gmetrics.sms.wpf. And so what that means is you're going to open a different application to take these practice tests. So you're going to click Open gmetrics. You're going to click this button here. If for some reason that doesn't show up, I guess you may need to check your pop-up blocker, and you may need to go in and add in gmetrics.net and allow pop-ups from them. If you have any questions or this isn't working properly during any of this, just be sure to let me know. After clicking that, you'll see that it's going to launch this window. So this is the actual testing window. You'll need to also be using AutoCAD. So I'm going to go ahead and launch AutoCAD, and then while AutoCAD is launching, then I'll talk more about this area here. All right, so you're in this AutoCAD certification testing, and they're going to usually give you a figure from one of the drawings. This is just a screenshot from one of the drawing files. They're going to prompt you and ask you to open one of the drawing files. Now, when you get into this gmetrics testing, they're going to temporarily download on your C drive the files. Sometimes those files don't temporarily download, and you're going to contact me and say, Mr. Turner, I have no idea where to go get these data files. How do I do this? And so you contact me and I'll help you out. Normally, the data file path is listed up here in the upper left-hand corner, and it'll be a long string of C:\users and all that sort of thing. But that should be listed here. Mine's not listed, so I have a fear that maybe the data files aren't loaded. But don't worry, I've got those for you, and I can provide those for you even if they don't load up. So no problem, just contact me. Now, as far as the questions go and what's exactly going to be on the test, here's the kind of questions that's going to be on here. So first, you'll open a drawing in AutoCAD. And then they're going to have you activate a named view. So I'll show you that in just a second. And then they're going to have you perform something. So this performance is this. Rotate the table by 90 degrees, selecting the geometric center of the table as the rotation point. You're like, what did that just say? Well, let's go do that right now. So let me go open the new floor plan drawing. So here I go. If it doesn't work the first time, no problem. I'll help you out. In fact, just the other day, I was helping a student, and I provided these for them. And so let me show you something right here, please. Ready? I'm going to go and open a drawing, and I'm going to browse to my C drive. This is where they should be, but if they're not, like I said, I'll help you out. The path is users, your login name, and documents, and then the gmetrics templates. Now, so I browse to that folder. Let me hover right here. And so here is the path that you need to follow. C:\users, your username, documents, and then gmetrics templates. And this is where the temporary download happens. And so then they provide some files for you. So I'm going to open up new floor plan. So here's the drawing that they're using. So if you Start zooming around. This is an example of some, looks like either some condominiums or some apartments. You can see that how they did their floor plan and some layouts and put in some furniture and different things of that nature. So this is more of a design type drawing than it is. We wouldn't give this to the builder to build. This is more of something we would show to the client, or some of you that ever looked at an apartment, you know that they have these floor plans showing the layouts of the apartments or things of that nature, okay? So that's what this is. So it'll come in like this. And so it says, now you need to activate the named view. And so here's the question. Activate the table named view. And you say, well, what in the world and how do I do that? Because I don't think we've done that in our training, because we never had to. So what you're going to do is you're going to be in AutoCAD, and you're going to go to the View tab here at the top. Click on the View tab, and then there should be a panel up here on the ribbon that says Named Views. And so you're going to click on this down arrow to restore one of the named views. And so what they did, they just zoomed into a specific area on the drawing, and then they saved a view and named it one of these from the list. And we could do the same thing in our drawings, like on the cabin floor plan, for example. If you wanted to save a view that zoomed right in onto your master bedroom on the cabin, then you could zoom in there, you could save the view, and it would put it in this list, and then anytime you needed it, you could click on the named view and it would take you right to that area. Imagine a map in AutoCAD of the United States of America. That would be very large, wouldn't it? You could make a named view for each state. That way you wouldn't have to roll the wheel in every time or zoom around with the mouse to zoom in on Rhode Island or Vermont. You know, those are pretty small states. And so what you could do is you could save those views, click on the named view named Vermont, and it would zoom you right into that area, okay? But that's something that you make. And so we're going to zoom into the area named Table. And so when you click on Table, it'll zoom you to that area. Now you can zoom out a little bit and kind of see where you are and get your bearings. So here is the actual AutoCAD drawing, and here is the test question. Notice the wall and notice the rectangle. So they want you to rotate the table by 90 degrees, and they want you to select the geometric center of the table as the rotation point. Okay, so let's go do that. We're going to use the rotate tool. Rotate, select the object, press enter, hover. Now when I hover, I'm going, where's the geometric center? I don't know where that is. Well, if you go over here to your object snaps, you can turn on geometric center. Now when you hover, it finds the geometric center of that object. To me, it also looks like if you were to hover over the midpoint on the right and the midpoint on the left and you come down, you're going to get to the same spot. But you can also turn on that geometric center, and that's where you're going to click. Boom. And then you rotate it 90 degrees. Now you get that result. Now, the actual question is this: what is the distance from corner 1 to corner number 2? So we're going to click back into AutoCAD. We're going to choose our Measure Geometry tool or distance. And we're going to click from point 1 to point number 2. And then we get the result of the total distance is 1.2520. 1.2520 is the distance from point 1 to point 2. Now you'll notice down here at the bottom where the answer is going to be typed, just to the right of the answer field are number signs and a decimal. Right now, those aren't considered hashtags. Those are number signs. And so they give you the format of how you must enter your answer or it'll be counted wrong. And so the answer was 1.2520. And so you're also required to round your answer if necessary. So you're going to have to round to 2 decimal places on this answer because that's what they're asking for. They're asking for number, dot, number, number. And so you're going to have to round it. And so this 1.2520 would just round to 1.25. Remember on rounding, if you want it to round to 2 decimal places, you look at the second decimal place to the right, which is a 5. Then if you need to know how to, or if you need to round it or not, you look to the decimal place just to the right of it, and if it's 5 or higher, you're going to round the 5 up to 6. But it's not, it's only 2. We'll leave it there. Rounding is important. So we would enter our answer, 1.25. Then we're going to come down here to the lower right-hand corner and click Next. And then it'll immediately tell you if you got it correct or not. If you did not get it correct, there'll be a red square with an X in it. And then you can retry it. So it'll take you back to the question. If you need to go back to AutoCAD and redo it, go for it. If you need to change your answer, you can do that. But let me miss it on purpose. So that's what it's going to look like if you miss it. And so you can go back and retry it. It only works this way if you're in the training mode. Another thing that works in the training mode is that if you just can't get the answer correct and you go, I have no idea how to do this to get the right answer, then you can come down here to the bottom and you can click on tips and it'll tell you how to navigate and tells you kind of what all of these buttons will do as you go through this process. And then just click out. If you need help, then you click on the help button and scroll down and it'll give you the instructions on how to get the correct answer. One thing that's very, very, very important, whenever they say in the question, what is the distance from corner 1 to corner 2? You need to pick in the order that they give you. On this question and answer, it wouldn't make a difference. It's still going to be the distance if you click from 2 to 1. It's still going to be 1.2520. But one of the other questions they might ask you is, what is the X distance? Or what is the X value? So let's see if we can get to one of those, okay? So here we go. So that's how you do that question. Put in your answer, click Next. I did it, let's continue. Now on this one, it actually says create a brand new drawing. And so that's what you would do. Use the polyline tool. Create the shape using direct input. What is the length? So here we go. So 15, 23, 27. So there's my shape, 15, 23, 27. What is the length of the polygon? What is the length of the polygon? So that means what is the length of the polygon? let's see if I get it right. It's supposed to be the distance all the way around, I believe. What is the length of the polygon? Sounds like the perimeter, so let's do that. Remember I used the area tool, and it should kick back the perimeter for me. Let's see if that's right. 90.9422. Okay. Another note of interest, really real quick, to help you out, sometimes you need that number. And so if you type F2 on the keyboard, it's the function key at the top, F2. It should give you the AutoCAD text window, and you can copy and paste this number. Well, that should be the number, shouldn't it? 90.94. So I hit F2 on the keyboard to get that text window to come up. Yeah, 2 decimal places. 90.94. Let's see if I did it right. If not, no worries, I can go back and do it again. Okay, I did it correctly. Continue. This is the last question I'll do, and then you'll continue on your own. But I do want to show you that example of what is delta X, because a lot of times of our training, we're like, I have no idea what that means. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to open up the home drawing. Home drawing. Let me go back to my AutoCAD. And so there's the new floor plan. Now this is my encouragement to you. We opened the new floor plan, we did something, and now we have to open a different drawing. And it's been my experience that sometimes it's best, after you answer a question in one of the drawings, go ahead and close it and don't save it. Don't save any of these drawings that you open from them. Sometimes it messes up your answers, and I don't know why that is, but try to get in the habit of when you answer a question, just close it, don't save it, and then if you have to reopen it, go for it. Open the home drawing, and that's what I get. Now I'm supposed to activate the line named view down here at the bottom. Here we go. Activate the line named view. View, here, line, and it takes me to it. So from point 1 to point 2, this is where it's extremely important that you go from point 1 to point 2 to get the correct response. It says to draw a line, so let me do that. You need to draw it from point 1 to point 2. Where is that? Is that from here to here? Let me go back. Having 2 monitors is really going to help you out, huh? Okay, sorry about that flipping, but I had to make sure I'm in the right spot. Draw a line from here to here. Watch your object snap. Make sure it's object snapping to the right location that you want. And then make sure that I did it right. I think I did. All right. What is delta X? So here we go. Ready? I'm going to use that measure geometry distance tool again. This is one way to do it, guys. I'm going to go from point 1, point number 2. Now here's the results. You'll notice that on screen they give you the distance from this corner point in this direction of X, 127.5. And then they give you a Y distance of 153.25. Then they give you the line distance, which is 199.35, and then they give you the angle, 50.24. This is the information based on the 2 points that you picked. Down here at the bottom of your screen in the command window, and then when you hit F2 on the keyboard, they give you all of that same information. I'm going to hit enter. Here's all of that information that they showed on the screen. Here's the distance of the line. Here's the angle. And then here is delta X. So you're going to have to use that text window screen in AutoCAD when you're trying to look up this information. The way I access this text window is by hitting F2 on the keyboard. It's actually right above the number 2. It's the function keys at the top. So that would be your answer, 127.50 is the delta X. So also notice they give you the delta Y, and so there's going to be questions in this test that's going to ask you for information like that. Notice it's 3 numbers and 2 decimal points to the right. So let me type it in, 127.50. If it asks for 2 decimal places, you got to put in a 0. If you don't, you're going to get it wrong. Next. There I go, I got it right. So now in this one, you got to draw an arc. So just keep following this procedure, okay? In the upper right-hand corner, it's going to give you the time elapsed. Don't worry about it. This is the training mode. You don't have to hurry through this. You can even save it and come back to it, no problem. So don't get in a hurry. Just take your time and practice, okay? If you do need to save it and come back, you're going to hit the save button, and it says, are you sure you want to save and exit the practice test? And you say, okay, I do, or cancel, say, no, I don't. Here's a calculator you can access if you need to. Here's where I was talking about that it should show you the data files and the path of where you are and where you go and get those drawings if you need them, okay? So if you have trouble with that, just let me know and I'll help you. And so you just keep going and keep doing, using AutoCAD and putting in the answers. But if you do need to stop and come back, you just hit the save button and you choose OK. And it says it was successfully saved and you choose OK. And it should take you back to this area. And then this is your dashboard. And you can always go back and resume these tests. If you want to get back to starting a new test, you can hit Start a New Test. You can click this button here, click AutoCAD. Now, when you're in the testing mode, you won't have the ability to retry a question if you miss it. It's just going to show you if you get it correct or incorrect. And then I don't even know if it'll show you immediately. It may or may not, but you just keep going and taking the test. I think there's about 30 to 50 questions, and it is a timed test. I think it's 30 questions in 50 minutes. But don't hold me to that. Just know that it is going to be a timed test, and it's only going to have about 30 questions, I think, okay? And so this is not the real test, but it's exactly like what's going to be on the real test. You're going to use AutoCAD, and you're going to have these questions like this. And so that's why you need to just practice these over and over again. And then when you get good with the training mode, then you go to the testing mode for these tests. And you go through there and you test. And then it'll give you your results. It'll show you what questions you got right. It'll show you which questions you got wrong. It'll give you your score. And then you can go back and you can take these tests and do the training as much as you want to prepare for this. And they say that if you're in the testing mode on these practice tests and you're scoring about 85% or better, then you're ready to take the actual certification test through Certiport. And that's when you would contact me and say, okay, Mr. Turner, I'm ready. What do I do next? And then I'll get you set up either to do the online certification test, or if we get enough people that want to do it, we could set it up to where we could do it in June or July, or we'll definitely do it if you come back in August 2020. So this is how you access G-Metrics to take your practice testing for your AutoCAD certification test. When it's time for you to take the actual test, you're going to drop down here to the registration for the Certiport testing, and you'll go to that again, another registration, and then you're going to click on registration login, and then you're going to register to Certiport. Tulsa Tech has paid Certiport for you to take these certification tests as part of the class. If you don't register correctly and if you don't use your Tulsa Tech email address, Certiport will want to charge you to take the certification test. So you need to use your, I think this is correct, I think you need to use your Tulsa Tech email address. Kelly, can you hear me? Can you confirm that we need to use our Tulsa Tech email address, please? Yes, thank you. Yes, with an exclamation mark. You have to use your Tulsa Tech email address or you're going to not do it correctly, okay? So just keep going down through all this information. If there's information on this registration that you don't know or understand, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, but you're going to call me. Get a hold of Mr. Turner, chat me up, and I'll promise I'll help you out, okay? All right, excellent. So that is the process of how you're going to get set up for the certification test. And that's also an example of how and what the tests are going to look like. So if you have any more questions, please contact me and I'll be glad to help you out. Thank you.